Samaritan Targum, Exodus 20, verse 17, the sixth segment, the second part. So in this video, I just want to review a few of the textual issues here. So the first would be the Dalet Vav Resh verbal root having an Aleph in there instead of a Vav. In Daniel 2:38, we had actually seen this before for the same verbal root in the Ketiv. So in the Ketiv there's that Aleph, whereas in the Kareh, there is a Yod. Next up, before the preposition for the concept of being beside, there's this Aleph, which we did not pause to comment on. That's a prosthetic Aleph, which according to Abraham Tal is sometimes placed before certain consonants for euphony, to make it easier to pronounce. And then the final aspect of this text that is fairly interesting, of course, is the place name Shechem. So let's go now to the comparison of manuscripts in Abraham Tal's critical edition. This is the verse that we have been reading. It's labeled 13, but it would fit at verse 17, so we've been calling it verse 17. Now, notice that it ends with the word Shechem. However, in the Shechem Synagogue Manuscript 3, potentially 1,000 years after the Samaritan Targum text on the right, there is the word Nablus. Why is that? Well, we notice, looking once again at the picture of the region, Nablus is the modern city, so to speak, that is next to the ancient city of Shechem, which would be behind these trees there that are obscuring our view on Mount Ebal. So it's interesting, the Samaritan community over the centuries migrates over to Nablus and eventually starts calling the place Nablus as the influence of Arabic grows and Aramaic wanes and remains just a liturgical language. And now the Samaritans are living on Mount Gerizim on the leftmost area where you see the cluster of buildings in that saddled area on the mountain. That concludes our reading of the 10th commandment in the Samaritan Targum. Stay tuned for our next series on Daily Dose of Aramaic.